The Trudeau government recently announced Canada's greenhouse gas emissions for the year 2021. Now, it always reports them 2 years after the fact. Now, the data in that report revealed two interesting things. The first thing is, according to this report, the former Environment Minister, Jonathan Wilkinson, when he predicted in 2021 that Canada's emissions would drop every year from 2020 to 2030, is in fact inaccurate and wrong. And the second thing it showed was that the government this year reduced the historical record of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions by 270 million tons compared to the report last year. It says the reason it's doing this is that it now has better and more efficient ways to calculate the total number of greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, but let's look at the first issue. Everyone knew that greenhouse gas emissions were going to go down in 2020 compared to 2019. And the reason was that 2020 was the first year of the recession caused by the pandemic. And in recessions everywhere, all around the globe, economic activity dropped, and so greenhouse gas emissions dropped. But then what happened in 2021 was that emissions went up compared to 2020. They went up to 670 million tons, which was an increase of about 1.4% or 12 million tons compared to the year before. Now, in announcing that, the current Environment Minister, Stephen Guilbeault, said, well, that was good news because the government always knew the emissions were going up in 2021 compared to 2020. Except that's the exact opposite of what the previous Environment Minister said in 2021. But in any event, whatever numbers you use, and let's use the government's latest numbers in 2021, they're still way behind Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's target of reducing our emissions by 40% compared to 2005 levels by 2030. Right now, we're about 8.4%. Now, 270 million tons going back to 1990 is an enormous drop. For example, according to the government's 2021 figures, the total emissions in the oil and gas sector, which is the largest single sector of the economy in terms of reducing emissions, it was only 189 million tons. The problem there is if the government keeps changing its figures this dramatically from year to year, we're never going to be able to calculate, well, how successful is the $200 billion the government is spending on lowering our emissions and other climate initiatives? Well, is it working? Are we getting good value for money? If the numbers are going to change like this, we're not going to know. And of course, a cynic might say that that's precisely the intent. I'm Lorrie Goldstein of Sun Media. We're always interested in hearing your views, and please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube channel.